Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs. Hi guys, welcome to episode 35, Why a Broke Mindset Will Stop the Growth of Your Spiritual Business. In this episode, you will learn about how to shift a broke mindset to an abundant mindset when working on your spiritual business. We hope you enjoy the show. Hi guys, welcome back. We're so excited that you're here. We're talking all about how a broke mindset will actually completely
stop the growth of your spiritual business.
Yes. So this episode is going to cover a lot. I think being a spiritual entrepreneur and being a psychic medium business program creator, for me personally, when I created my course, it was for people that were either overworking themselves and not charging enough and feeling like they were running themselves into the ground. But also, it's almost like shifting the mindset and believing that my students can really charge what they're worth and know that they're putting out so much good into the world that they have a right to receive in return.
So that sounds like a abundant mindset right there.
Yes.
So what is a broke mindset? So a broke mindset is, I would say, is somebody who thinks that there's competition.
Yes.
Who thinks, oh, I have to be better than that person or this person. And they're always competing with all of the people in their industry around them.
Yeah.
Rather than competing with themselves.
Right.
Tony Robbins actually asked Michael Jordan, I believe it was after one of his final games. Mm-hmm. He said, what makes you different than everybody? And Michael Jordan said, is because everybody else is competing with me and I'm only competing with myself.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps.
And I think that's huge with every industry, because when you're always trying to get better yourself, you're going to bring more of your own potential out, which is unique.
Yes. That is so true, and I feel like that's so powerful, and it actually takes a little bit less energy when you're really focused on yourself instead of everyone else. And when you stay laser focused, I'm using your terms, stay laser focused on what you're doing, and you just have blockers on with everything else around you. That's how I get so much stuff done. I don't even focus on what other people are doing. I focus on what I'm doing, what I'm creating, and it really helps. And also collaborating with other people. I feel like that's part of it, to kind of shift that broke mindset and go and collaborate with people that you feel pulled to. I love doing that. I love working with my friends. And you have to pay attention to who you're working with too, because they really do need to have that same mindset.
Yes. So what's another thing that people do when they have a broke mindset? They think that there's not enough customers.
Yeah.
There's not enough customers, and once again, which causes them to feel like they have to compete.
Right.
And coming from that lack mindset, thinking there's not enough customers, well, that will probably come out in your marketing.
Yes.
So in the videos that you're making and the content you're creating, you're going to come off as needy. Especially if you're a psychic medium and all that, because a lot of your market's going to be sensitive to energy.
They'll feel it.
So they'll be able to feel the shift in your energy, like, wait, well, this person's energy is needy.
Yes.
And a lot of times people aren't attracted to that, which is why a broke mindset will stop the growth of your business, because a broke mindset is on a lower vibe, and a lower vibe attracts lower level results.
People asking for discounts, people asking for sale prices, and I actually, like, being at the store, I always go to the sale rack at certain points. Like, it's just something that happens naturally. I feel like in the past though, I would try to bargain. Like, if it was like that type of store, I'd get excited about it more so than I would now. Like, I wouldn't even think about that kind of stuff in the same way. I feel like stuff has shifted since I've had my own business.
I think you think about it now in a way like it's fun. It's more like it's like a game, to where before in the past it was more like, wait, I need to save money.
Exactly. And I think that's the difference. And when you mentioned that the intention behind things, like people feel it, I could put out one sentence about a course, okay? And I could have a different energy behind it. And then I can look at my course that I put out, at the very beginning stages of my business and how that felt too. And there's a difference with energy and belief about that. And so I like how you're saying that, because I feel like there is a difference. You could have the same exact copy, the same wording, but the intention's different. And it reminds me of the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, because the author wrote it more than once, right?
Well, that was a different book you're thinking
book
about.
was that?
Napoleon Hill actually did this. I forget which book specifically it was
Yeah.
for, but he basically retyped the book, the exact words, but he made sure he was in a different mindset, like a more positive mindset, and the book actually sold a lot more, even though it was the exact same words. And I know that sounds crazy, but this is reality. Like if you look at Dr. Emoto's water study on how our intention affects water, it's the same thing. Our energy is going out and people are feeling this, and it shows up in all of our messages. It shows up in if we're walking and we have water splattering off our hands and it hits the ground. I bet if there's ways to study that to figure out what energy we were on
Exactly.
as the water hit the ground. So it shows up in your words, it shows up in your videos. So if you put a blog out that has really good energy, think of it this way. That blog is going out and attracting other really good energy, high frequency energy to it nonstop for you.
Yes.
That's how the internet works. So that's an abundant mindset right there, is realizing that there's more than enough to go around.
Yeah.
And if you create high energy products, you're going to be attracting people when you sleep into your business. But if you have the opposite mindset to where you have a broke mindset, well, that's going to come off in your writing too, and then it's going to manifest in low sales, and you're going to think, oh yeah, that's because there's not a huge market online, and when in all reality there's billions of people online, and you don't need a lot to have a successful business. And more importantly, there's millions of people looking specifically for you.
Yeah.
Like you are the solution to their present day problem, and if you hold back with that broke mindset, you're never going to make it to these people that need you.
Yes. And it's so easy when you're bringing this up, it's so easy to think, oh, it's been done before, but it's not been done from you. So anyone could have a class online, but it's going to be your own signature class because it's coming from you. It's your energy, it's your philosophy, and that's why it's going to stand out to that person that's coming to you. And that's what you have to believe. Really, truly go with your heart and your soul. I've had a lot of business owners say to me, how do you do this? Or what are you putting into your retreat? What do you do for that? And they want specifics on what I do, but I say, just follow what you want. Go inward, go through your soul, and it's going to be so much more powerful with that intention. And I think that's the abundant mindset when you think, what can I do to benefit my people? Like that's how I think, is how would I want to receive this if I was a student?
And that is the abundant mindset. So coming from that space, you could see how there's a way different result coming from that space compared to coming from a space of, oh, let me see what this person's doing so I can make sure that it's to the standard of the industry and all of this, which with certain things, depending on what industry you're in, you might need to do that a little bit, have a foundation of it, but then use your own creativity. Because that's an abundant mindset, is understanding that your unique perspective is abundant, and you could keep drawing from that source over and over and over again because it knows.
Yes.
So compared to the poverty mindset, it's a lower frequency, and you think that everybody else knows.
Yeah, that's true. And when you were just talking, I was thinking about the very beginning of my business when in my head, I actually didn't have a business. I was teaching at the time. And I was doing readings, and I thought, well, maybe I'll accept donations. I remember thinking that because I had a friend say, whatever you do, don't charge any money for your readings. And at the time, I was thinking, oh, I feel guilty charging. And then over a period of time, I started to realize, just like musicians charge for their concerts, even though they're having a great time singing and using their ability to sing, they have their time and energy, and they need to be paid. So I changed my mindset of taking donations, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll charge $40 for a reading. And then that shifted. And I'm like, I keep getting a message that's supposed to be $65 to charge. And there was a moment where I was going back and forth with my prices thinking, ooh, is this too high to charge? And what happened was when those very beginning stages of my business, I was asked, oh, that's too expensive. Is there any way that you can do it for a lower price? Remember how I used to get those calls?
You attracted that. It was the universe mirroring you.
It was mirroring me. And then all of a sudden, something shifted where I fully believed in my price because I kept on doing the readings and people were getting good results and experiencing healing. So it built up belief in me and, you know, everything that I was doing. So when I remember one person called my phone, I had Google voicemail at that point. And this lady, at the time, my reading was $105. And she's like, well, I only have $100. Can I pay you $100? Remember?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not changing the price for $5. This is a boundary thing. This is what I'm charging. And it was like, it didn't matter. I hung up with her and I said, you know, my price is $105 and that's it. And that was it. From then, I've never had an experience where people are saying the prices are too high. Never.
Because your belief creates the reality.
Right.
The universe mirrors you. So if you want your business to grow, you're going to have to grow your mindset so the universe can mirror that mindset.
Yes. And when you feel that pull, if you're listening to this right now, thinking, I feel completely drained in my business, or I feel like things aren't really matching up, are you charging what you're worth? Are you doing too many readings that day? Are you doing too many readings? That's another thing with the broke mindset. You feel like you have to bend your schedule for everyone else. No, you need to set the boundaries and say, this is when I want to do my readings. I want to do this amount of readings, and this is what I charge.
Yeah, and a lot of them are probably like in the position you were in to where they're scared. It feels weird charging more. And that's when you just have, like Lindsay said, keep going through the process and watch what your readings are doing for people.
Yeah.
And imagine it like this, like there's a door right here, and your product or service, every time someone purchases your product or service, they walk through this door. So are you giving them enough value? So what they're paying for your product as they walk through that door or service, are they getting more from your service or product than what they actually paid you? And if they are, like if I look at Lindsay's readings, because I've watched her do a lot of readings, I've been in the room, when people pay her the money they pay her, does the value she gives them, does it outweigh that? Absolutely it does. I feel like Lindsay, and I know I'm biased because I'm her husband, but anybody who really sees the work she does or the work a great medium does, they will say that work is priceless. What they are doing for these people, if you have a really good medium and they give somebody a really on-point reading and helps them talk to somebody who's passed away, how much money is that worth? It's priceless, and you have to understand that. So that's where you feel good charging this service, because it's the same thing as if you're cutting someone's grass. How much money is that worth to somebody? Well, it's worth something, and they could pay you what it's worth.
Yes. And you know, when you're talking about this, it's making me think, if I went to the store and I wanted to buy an iPhone versus, I don't know the other option for a phone, like a $20 phone, I could look at both of them and think, I could pay $20, or I could pay, $300, or probably more now for an iPhone. I would be willing to save my money, if I was worried about money at that point, to save my money up for an iPhone, because I think, wait, what's wrong with this other phone? Why is it so cheap? So think about that. With the broke mindset, you may think, ooh, if I'm lower in my prices, if it's lowered prices, I'm going to get people in. No, actually, the psychology of it is people think, what's wrong with it? Why is it so cheap? And I'm not saying you can't charge a low amount of money for different things, but when it comes to your services, your readings, I would think about that. Think about it, because I would never go to someone, it sounds crazy, but I would never go to someone that charged $50 for a reading. That's just me.
Exactly.
I'd be like, wait, that doesn't feel right.
It's a different quality of customer. If you charge $50 per reading compared to like a couple hundred per reading, you're going to attract a different customer, right?
Yeah.
You probably noticed it too.
Yeah, I have different customers that come to me that really, they value the reading.
Yeah. So in the end, it's not really about, let me see how much money I could get from people.
Right.
See, that's a broke mindset right there.
Yes, if you're listening to this, taking this like that, then
that's a broke
something. Mindset.
You understand that there's an abundance of everything, literally.
Yeah.
And you're just charging at a point to where you're attracting your ideal customer and they're getting what they're paid for, and it's a business transaction to where everything rolls smoothly. Because like Lindsay said, if you're undercharging, it's going to be a red flag to some people, and it's going to scare away a certain type of customer. If that's the customer that you want, you better charge more so you attract the customer that you want.
Exactly. And you're not going to end up doing as many readings as you want to, because you may be doing 10 readings, but they might not be quality readings because you're trying to make a living and you're doing so many readings because you're not charging enough. So you're probably going to feel drained. If you're energetically drained from your business, then something's off balance. Either you're spending too much time doing what you're doing and not having enough like social life or a balanced self-care for yourself, or there's something that needs to be readjusted with the business. And that was my passion, like creating the Unlock Your Psychic Medium online business. It was because there's so many people out in the world, and you're probably listening to this if you're a psychic medium, that has so much beautiful energy to heal people. And we need more psychic mediums standing in their power and not being afraid to put themselves out there. I think that's like the big thing. Like I'm seeing people that are so, I don't even know to use the word talented, but they're so, their connection with spirit so strong that I'm like, oh, I wish they were doing this full time, because it could help so many more people that are grieving, that are dealing with the unknown from the afterlife. And I'm like, I just want to help them. And I was doing that naturally. And I'm like, okay, I got to create the course. Because I kept on being told to do this. You said it. I had students come to me, do you have a business course? And finally I'm like, okay, I got to put it out there.
Yeah, and you're helping them to where they're looking at this huge machine, which that's what a business is. And they're figuring out, why is this machine energizing me? Or why is it draining me?
Yes.
So if it's draining you, like Lindsay said, there's parts of the machine that you have to tweak a little bit. Maybe you're giving way too many readings. Maybe you need to supplement a part of your income, and maybe you love teaching and you want to start creating education products in this.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's something else. Maybe you want to create a deck of cards or a daily planner or whatever it is with your business, and put that piece into your business, because you want to really tap into all of your creativity, like Lindsay did with creating her business course. That was a part of your creativity because you were already helping people in that area, so you needed an outlet for that. And then now it helps to serve a lot more people by doing it.
And you just brought up a good point. I needed to use that energy to create the course. And I also, what will happen to you too is your customers will tell you what they need, and you'll find yourself getting drained because of the questions. And then that could be a creation for you. Like, ooh, my customers are kind of pushing the boundaries to ask me these questions, but it's actually not a problem. It's a good problem to have. Because you can create something from it. So if you find your customers private messaging you, asking you for certain things, create something that you can charge for your time and energy, because this is an energy exchange. They'll be happy to give it to you because you're solving their problem.
Exactly, like Lindsay said, so that energy machine, she's getting drained. You look at that machine, wait, I'm getting drained. What's making me drained? Oh, it's when I'm answering the same question over and over. Aha, I need to create a product around that. So you look at your business, what's draining you, and you figure out your solutions right there.
Yes. Another thing for a broke mindset is thinking that you could do everything yourself and you're not going to hire out anything because you think, oh, that's too expensive right now. I'm at the beginning stages of my business. I should do everything. I made that mistake. I did everything myself at the very beginning of my business. I was crying, pulling my hair out, trying to figure out technology. And finally I had to stop and I had to start hiring things out. So pay attention to that. You might not be able to hire out everything, but invest in yourself, whether it's a course that helps you with your business to kind of speed you up. If people have done it before and they're doing a good job of it, listen to them if they have something for you. If it's like for me personally, I was drained by cleaning the house. Or I'd have Tony, I'm like, Tony, can you help clean up right now because I'm doing the business stuff? I'm like, I can't do this. I'm just so drained and frustrated and resentful when I feel like it's not done in my good enough terms. So we hired a cleaner, and having them clean for 2 hours would take me like 8 hours to scrub like they do. And it was cheaper for my time and energy. So think about that when you're thinking about shifting from a broke mindset to an abundant mindset.
Right, understanding there's more than enough to go around, and if you give, it's going to circulate. It's the law of circulation, and that means giving to people who either have a business cleaning, well, they could clean your house and you're exchanging that. Or if it's like an online aid, what do you call those?
Like a virtual assistant. Yeah.
You pay somebody to read your emails or to handle editing your videos or whatever it is, whatever pops up. And it's like a never-ending thing I've found, is that you're always looking at this machine that's your business, and then you're figuring out what's draining you, and then you're solving it by either creating a product or hiring it out.
Yes.
And it's never ending. So it's a living organism. What do living organisms always do? They're always dying or growing. So you want to make sure yours is growing, and the way that you make sure it is by first starting with you and having an abundant mindset and figuring out what that means to you and how you're going to view the world, and then looking at your machine, which is your business, and tweaking it.
I love that example, that I could actually visualize it. You do a good job with thinking about those things too. But yeah, living organism, that is totally true. It's either living or dying, growing or dying. But I think the big thing is to know that this isn't to put you down and saying you have a broke mindset. But I feel like we need to be real about this.
Yeah, you have to be.
There are so many things that come up, and there's so many excuses you could make and say, well, I'm not making enough money to leave my full-time job to do this work. Or I'm in my full-time business doing spiritual stuff because, I have kids and I need to provide for them, so I have to do 10 readings a day. But no, you can adjust it differently. So one of the things that I would suggest too is I have this thing on my website. It's lindsaymarino.com. It's a free video series for psychic mediums. So if you're a psychic medium and you want to get clear on, what you have in front of you, what you need to make yourself feel free for your lifestyle, you can watch those videos. I feel like that would help you if you're listening to this. So you can click on the button that says start here, and then there's a free class about that. But we are so happy you joined us today. We hope this episode helped you. Share with us what you learned in the episode.
Yep, we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.